I am super prepared this week
Cool.
with everything.
Glad to hear it.
All right. Let's go ahead and start with the group quiz. Number 1.
Okay.
Pretty easy. The forces that make market economies work are supply and demand because none of the other ones make sense.
Bingo.
2, the highest form of competition is called perfect competition. Did everyone get that one?
Good.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Cool. 3, the demand for a good or service is determined by, I got A, those who buy the good or service.
That's the same as I did.
Cool. Everyone else, yeah?
I was conflicted on this because
Yeah.
because the demand, I guess I thought that it could cover those who buy and sell because it could affect both.
I can totally see that, and I was also conflicted. And then I was like, the demand. I'm just gonna go with who buys it.
No,
That.
I went to another source and looked up
Oh
this
yeah.
same thing and found that it seemed to say that those who buy set the demand. Those
Okay.
who sell set
Okay.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. I was just conflicted. I have a question mark next to it. So
Yeah, I did too. I went back and looked again, and I went back to because I had D as well, but I
Mhm.
went back to A based on some other things I read.
okay.
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
not going to guarantee you it's absolutely right, but it was in another resource. I just went online and typed in that very
Okay.
question, and it showed it on somebody else's study information. It showed it as being those who buy the good or service.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay. So 4, most studies indicate that tobacco and marijuana tend to be, and I got complements, but I was also very confused. I can tell if it was substitutes or complements. So what did you guys get?
Right. And that little piece of the book that talked about this, it had like a little article in it that talked about the studies. And it said
Yeah.
the studies said it was complementary.
Okay.
However, there's a lot of people that are that wanted to use the information for their own purposes.
Oh,
Said
okay.
it was substitutes.
Substitutes.
What if they went and
Okay.
substituted another? But the studies always came in showing that
Studies.
it was
Okay.
complementary.
Complements.
That's what
Okay.
I saw. That's what I took in the book from what I read.
That's what I did too, but I could always be wrong.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure.
David, Spencer, you guys got an opinion on that?
Yeah, Spencer said he got kicked off. I think he's going to try to come back on.
There he
Finally.
is in all his glory. And we can hear him.
Crap.
All right, shall we recap those 4 for Spencer?
Oh
Can you hear
yeah.
me?
Spencer, did you get the first 3 or you?
No, when everybody got on, it went completely quiet, and I'm like,
Sweet.
oh, great.
Okay. So we pretty much covered that. 1 is C, supply and demand. 2 is C, perfect competition. 3 is A, those who buy the good or service.
Yep.
And 4 is B, complements.
True that.
Okay. And number 5, if the law of demand applies to this good, then Q1 could be A, because it keeps
0.
going
It would be going,
down. Yeah, it would be going down with the price going up.
and the others are equal or above.
Yep. Okay. 6, the movement of DA to DB would be a cause of, I said decrease in price, but I could be wrong.
I got B for that one.
I got B
B?
as well. A decrease in income, assuming the good is inferior, because an increase decreases. There's a growth in the demand of an inferior good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
in corn
so
versus
B.
fresh corn, or whatever the case may be. So
So
I have
from
well.
A to B, it's going from left to right. Isn't left to right considered an increase?
It is an increase in the demand, yes. And
And
so
they
as income goes down, inferior goods will increase in demand. So, your purchases at Goodwill will go up and your purchases at Dillard's will go down if you decrease your income. So an inferior good would be like a used good. Used car sales will go up if you lose money, versus new cars will go down if you have a decrease in income. So an inferior good is those that would be a secondary, like what you would move to if you had less money.
Okay.
So like ramen would increase because it's an inferior good versus going out to a restaurant.
Oh, okay. Now I'm with you.
Assuming it's a good inferior.
The trick they threw in there is that it's an inferior good.
Yeah, assuming the good is inferior. Okay. That's tricky. It's like they were trying to trick us.
Otherwise, I think you would be correct.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I can see that now. Okay. So 6 would be B. Right. Number 7, even though it's like totally broken up, I said A.
I did as well.
I did as well.
So why did y'all put A? I put B. So why did y'all choose A?
If you follow the charts for demand,
the
demand for a $7 case of Mountain Dew, you add those up across the board, it gets you 50. An $8, add them up across the board, it gets you 40, 9 and 10, so on and so forth. And if you chart them out on the plot, that's the only way that that's the only one that follows the same path, like the curve.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. Number 8, when the quantity demanded has increased at every price, it might be because, and I said C, but I could be wrong again.
I had C and D circled, so I was looking for clarification.
I picked D.
Okay.
I was looking at D.
Okay.
Because the price of a complementary good has decreased, it would shift the demand for that good.
Isn't okay. When the quantity demand is increased, I don't know. Anybody want to take a stab, like a hard line on that?
At number 8?
Yeah.
Well, quantity demand has increased.
The number of buyers decreased, your demand would go down. If income has increased and it's an inferior good, it would go down.
Yeah.
The cost incurred by sellers producing the good has decreased, so the cost incurred by sellers producing the good has decreased. That's going to be a line.
So the cost of increase.
That's going to be a point on the line because the price will come down. That'll be a point on the demand line versus a shift in the demand, wouldn't it? Actually, no, that's an input that's changed. That's an input that's changed. So the costs incurred by sellers producing the good have decreased. You're right. That the cost incurred by sellers producing the good has decreased. That would bring the price. That would shift everything to the left, correct? Because the price would go down.
Mm-hmm.
So that would shift the demand line to the left. The supply line is going to be shifted if the complementary good has decreased.
Okay, so it would be D.
Because that would change the demand line, not the...
Okay.
Okay, taking a hard line on D.
I don't. You price of a compliment. Wait a minute. I might have that backwards. The price of a complementary good. The price is going to have an effect on demand. It's going to have an effect on both. And we're shifting demand. Both of them have an effect on demand.
Yeah, but usually with a complementary, it's like a flip flop, right? If one goes down, the other one comes up, right?
Well, if the price of one goes down,
complementary, they'll both go up together. Or they'll both
yeah.
go down together.
Yeah.
Well, then it ain't D then.
They'll flip flop.
Well, then it's not D.
Then it's not D. Man, this is so confusing.
Oh, you're right. It wouldn't be D. Because
Yeah, because it would have been a
'Cause they-
substitute, but not a complementary.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Cost.
Okay. So it would be C.
C's get degrees.
Oh man, I'm actually kind of proud of myself that I got that. My mind is really happy with itself. Okay.
I had an asterisk marked on that one.
Yeah,
I have a question mark by it.
I think it's still a bit of a crapshoot, but I'm going to go with everybody on C.
Okay. So what do you think the alternative is then, Robert? Do you think?
I'm still. You know how things are just stuck in your head.
Yeah.
Let them go. That's where I'm at on it. So I think I do agree that C. The cost incurred by sellers producing the good has decreased. It's going to create a shift in the demand line. I mean, in the supply. Shift in supply is going to go up, so it's going to go to the right, and so the quantity demand is going to increase across every price line because the shift is to the right.
So, inferior.
All right. While he's looking that up, I'm so sorry to rush you guys, but I actually have a meeting at 6. I'm a very busy person. I'm so sorry.
Hey, you and me both.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll just move on to 9.
Pay your money, make your choice. Lay your bet on C or D on that one. We'll move on.
Okay. I'm sticking with C.
Okay.
I feel good about it.
Quantity supplies of a good is the amount that D sellers are willing and able to sell.
Right.
And I looked that one up, and so I know it's right.
Yeah.
And moving on.
10. I said it was B, the expected future price of iPods.
That's what I said.
Everyone else, yeah?
I went with C, the number of buyers, because the expected future price.
Well, that wouldn't actually affect the supply.
That's going to check.
Yeah,
that's going to check the demand.
I honestly put D. Because
all the above.
I put all of the above because literally today's curve it could change because of the price today, future, and the amount of buyers.
The price is not going to shift anything because that's a move on the line.
Okay, but they're also just talking about supply. They're not necessarily talking.
Right, but that's a movement on the line itself. It's not going to shift the line. Mm-hmm. The expected future price of iPods, I think, is going to affect demand because people are going to stop buying because they're expecting a price drop. So I think that affects demand, and I think the number of buyers affects supply. Because as it goes up, supply is going to increase, or if it goes down, supply is going to decrease.
But they weren't indicating that the supply is going to increase or decrease. They're just asking if it's going to affect it.
No, if it's going to affect it. But the effect of change to supply is what the number of buyers will affect.
No, it would be the number of sellers would affect the supply. The number of buyers would affect the demand.
That's true.
So that's why I said it was B.
The future price?
Yeah, because expectation and like expecting for something to move in whatever will shift the supply curve.
Yeah, I think the number was also listed under number of buyers shifts the supply because there's more people, therefore there becomes more sellers and more product. So again, big question mark.
Yeah.
Okay, that's gonna be my wild card.
Gotta have one.
Okay. 11. I did A, so
Yeah.
DA to DB.
Yeah.
Everyone else do that? Yep.
Agreed.
Cool. 12. I did 44 units.
True that.
Same.
I got
Cool.
that.
Perfect.
David's
Okay.
like silent.
Yeah, because
Poor guy.
I have a bad connection. I'm here outside and I'm coming from the mine, so I don't go to my room. And
so
I don't have
sorry.
any paper here outside, sorry, but for the next
All right.
I will be more prepared.
You're all right.
All good.
13. I did an increase in supply.
Right, I got A on that one as well with that one.
Hey, man, great minds think alike. Look at that.
I know.
I had it and then I erased it.
Oh, can't help you there.
Well, because I went to the next page and it was increased in quantity supplied.
Oh, that's
No,
confusing.
this
Not just
throws me
supply.
off how everything's split.
Yeah,
So-
it's annoying.
So in the textbook, it actually says if it shifts rightward with the supply
Right,
curve,
with the supply
it's an increase in supply and not supply quantity.
Gotcha.
All right.
14. I did D, firms B, and firms D only because
Yeah,
that's
good
the
with
only one that's
follow,
increasing.
correct.
Yeah, or whatever.
That's what I got.
Well,
You guys
yeah,
know.
I left that as a possibility of being B as well, just because it was the only one that still had an
Mm.
increase. But
Mm.
I went with D. So
Okay. Then 15, equilibrium, easy.
same.
Okay. 16, surplus of 400 units.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Well, you said you got C, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'll need clarification on that one. I missed it.
Okay. So, 16. If we go to the price 35, it's a surplus because it's above the equilibrium point.
Mhm.
And then we take where the price is on the demand
The
and the
difference
price.
between
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And
picking
then
it up.
difference.
I got
Okay.
it. Missed it. Okay, cool.
Okay. 17. I said point A to point B, but
That's
this
right.
question has a giant question mark for me.
I put
Me too.
D.
B.
I think that was kind of a wild guess too, because I was confused.
I went A to B because it's a shift of supply.
Yeah. Because it's mostly like around the supply curve. I even have a note saying supply curve, but then I was like, I don't know if it's right. Lola, stop it. I'm so sorry, guys. My dog.
All right, so we're settled on A then?
Yes. Yes.
Cool.
Okay.
Then 18, I said Y to X. So D. What'd you guys get?
Yeah, because the productivity would change their would allow them to sell at a lesser cost.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily get a shift.
And I also thought because it was having to do with the supply, so I kind of just I drew a supply curve like right in the middle and see which one it would move towards. And then I just decided, oh, so it moves towards X, then it must be Y to X. So that's how I got that.
Okay.
Does that make any sense?
You said X to Y? C?
Y to X.
Y to X.
I got D. Y to X.
D.
Y to X. All else is equal. Productivity. Increase productivity.
Yeah, 19. I had no idea.
19. I got D
Which
because I can't remember why I got D, but I did.
was
Hey, the shift in the supply.
Oh, okay. I see that. That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, shift.
So it's a shift in the supply line from S to S1, right?
Mhm.
Is that what you're looking at?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a
And-
lot.
We're talking about 19. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
And
you're right.
then I didn't even attempt 20 because I just had no idea.
Yeah. Welcome to the team.
And you guys had B or D on 19?
I had D.
I had D.
I'm going to have to study that one a little bit more. Okay.
On 20, I've got B.
B.
And there's a lot of big words and how they say it there, but it basically says that when prices go up, more people will get into a market. When prices go down, more people will get out of a market. People with different abilities in that will get into markets where they can do well, and they'll get out of markets where they can't do well. So it's going to affect the people with their varying abilities and desires. So those who are willing to get into a market, willing to work, will get in if the prices are going up, and they'll get out if the prices are going down.
Yeah, but
The other ones don't make a
the
lot of sense. Prices ensure what needs to get done gets done. That's just
yeah.
it doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, I was gonna choose between A and B. So B, that makes a little bit of sense.
And prices prevent decentralized decision making from degenerating into chaos. I don't see prices affecting somebody degenerate into chaos.
Yeah.
I think people will act based on prices, but I don't think chaos ensues necessarily.
So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because which statement does not apply to market economics? And
Which of these statements does not apply to market economics?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even look at that the right way, so maybe I'm wrong now. I'm just going to be quiet now because I've been making more confusion than helping today.
So I think I don't think it's B because price does it does have a say in what people are able to get and what they like because price will determine whether they buy it or not.
I had went with A. Not that it
A.
matters, but
I think
I think
it might be A.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll go with that.
Cool.
Okay. Cool.
All right.
Awesome. And you guys can look back to it. I will post it on the group collaboration discussion board so you can guys look back to it. Oh, good
Alrighty.
work, team.
I like that. Short and sweet and to the point. That's right.
well, it took longer to figure out how to record it than we did.
I
Well,
know,
Mary,
I
thank
know.
you for anchoring us and finding out how to make this technology work.
You're welcome. I will make sure I am home, and maybe next week I'll show you guys all how to do it because I gotta get going.
Be handy. Cool. Awesome. Thanks,
All
Mary.
Enjoy your
Thanks,
discussion.
guys.
See you, everybody.
Thanks,
Bye.
Mary. Thanks, guys.